have good talent right here in Trinity. We're going to move this along. I thank you all for being so patient. We're just not. So next poet, I'm going to go ahead and change what I said, so I can do that. I'm the host. And while we're all attentive and here sitting, I'm going to call up our international beat poet laureate. Don't worry, I'm going to get to the rest of you. Yes, I am. Krista Vestilario.
Elisariu.
I said I wouldn't say her last name. Krista V.
Elisariu.
Krista from Greece.
Elisariu.
Our international beat poet laureate from Larissa, Greece, who we picked up in New York. Give her a huge round of applause.
I'm Lisa, and in fact I'm not a poet. I don't know how I became international poet. Especially I don't know how I became beat poet laureate. My mentor is very angry about me. He says, "You are not a beat. Beats are..." I'm not guilty. He is guilty. He is the guilty one. And you know, I think that he has done it because I dedicated a poem to him some years ago. I don't write like that. I write from time to time 3,000 poems, 2 books, 20 anthologies, 10 anthologies in Greek, 4 blogs. But I'm a physicist, and a prized one for innovation and excellence. Anyway, I dedicated to Mr. Cullen a poem that I will read you in Greek. And afterwards, I will torture you with my English. Φλέγομαι. Επειδή είμαι γυναίκα και οι γυναίκες είναι φλεγόμενα αστέρια που δημιουργούν ενέργεια να την εκπέμπουν γύρω τους. Φλέγομαι επειδή είμαι ένα ανθρώπινο όν και το καθήκον των ανθρώπων είναι να καταναλώνονται για τους άλλους και τη φύση, διαφορετικά είναι απλά όντα. Φλέγομαι επειδή είμαι μια καλλιτέχνης και οι καλλιτέχνες λάμπουν από το εσωτερικό ιδιόμορφο, όμορφο φως τους. Φλέγομαι επειδή είμαι ποιήτρια και οι ποιητές καλούνται να εκφράσουν την απαστράπτουσα διαφανή ψυχή τους. Ο λόγος τους τι είναι να βάλει φωτιά στο παλιό για το νέο. Φλέγομαι επειδή είμαι παράφορα ερωτευμένη με τη ζωή. Είμαι μια οδηγεί την ύλη μέσα από μια μαύρη τρύπα προς τα έξω, από μια λευκή τρύπα, από το τίποτα στο πάνω, από την καταστροφή στη δημιουργία, από το θάνατο σε νέες γεννήσεις. I'm burning. I'm burning because I'm a woman. And women are burning stars, creating energy, which emit around them. I'm burning because I'm a human being. And human beings' duty is being concerned for others and nature. Otherwise, they are just beings. I'm burning because I'm an artist, and artists are shining from their internal, peculiar, beautiful lights. I'm burning because I'm a poet, and poets are urged to express their shimmering and transparent soul. Their word tends to set fire to the old for the new. I'm burning because I'm passionately in love with life. I'm a wormhole, which leads the material inside from a black hole to and out of a white hole. From nothing to everything. From destruction to creation. From death to new births. Too much. I publish my soul everywhere. I paint my love on everybody's wall. I throw away my poems on the wind. Then, wind falls in love with me. More and more. My swirling rhymes fill the lungs with passion. I always adored my relieving wind. Oh, he makes me so light. I even can fly with my tiny wings. Some Greek again?
Sure, yeah.
Το θεριό. Το θηρίο βρυχάται, εγώ κι αυτό. Έμαθα να μην το φοβάμαι. Το ταΐζω και του τραγουδώ. Μέχρι να ξανακοιμηθεί. Ποιος ξέρει πότε θα φάει κάτι. Το φοβάμαι, μικρό μου. Να είμαι μόνη μου. Σε χρειαζόμουν κοντά. Μόνο τα δικά σου τα μάτια το ησύχαζαν, μα σου ήταν πολύ να τα βάλεις και με το δικό μου θεριό. The beast. The beast rose, me and it. I learned how not being afraid of it. I feed it and I sing to it until it goes back to sleep. when it will go, it will also eat me. It is so scary, my love. I'm alone. I need you close to me. Only your eyes make it harsh, but it were too much for you to fight against both your and my beast. Nursing. Milky Way. Your Milky Way. You want to be fed by her. Her to caress your hair. Her to kiss you. Her to hug you. Those breasts, all tune apart, your self-control. Those bits are meant to be explored by your tongue. You are returning back to her womb. There, where death or sorrow never existed. You want to lick her berries and search with your hands that little place where the infinite last was born. Oh, you hand to intrude in the forgotten sacred place, in the altar of your needs, in the tomb of your past, and the home of your eternity. You want to taste that eternity, given like the nectar of the immortals, to whom will continue your history. In a way, you hate this continuity. You prefer immortality. You are alive. A little boy is hidden in you, in your heart, in her heart, in her womb, on her breasts. You wish, sucking avidly, her elixir of life. Heavens, you're drooling to taste her milk. Thank you. I am not alone here. You are as Greek, I mean. Many Greek poets are with me. They are greeting you, and they sent some of their poems because they believe in communication and they want to be heard. I translated some of them, and I will recite some of their poems each day of this festival. We are not so verbose as you. We are short. But our language, our ancient language, cannot be heard if it is not translated. 2 Nobels in 50 years of poetry, and 2 Lenin Prizes to the little Greece. Sept. Καβάφης. A continuity. This poetess, is a great woman who lives in Thessaloniki. I like her a lot, and she always helps me with my events in Greece, and I'm very honored for that. She was one of the poet laureates in my event, in my big event, before 2 years in Greece. My big event was online, and the voice of the Greek poets and the beats was heard all over the world through this. Αλεξάνδρα Παπονίκα. Το κρυσφύγετο. Στο δωμάτιό σου που κάναμε έρωτα κυριαρχούσε ένα σκούρο καφέ χρώμα. Από τη μοκέτα, τα έπιπλα, τα σκεπάσματα. Σχετικά σκοτεινά ήταν, γιατί όταν μπήκα από μεσήμερο τέλη Μαΐου, είχες ήδη κατεβάσει τα ρολά και οι κουρτίνες μπροστά στα παράθυρα δεν άφηναν κανένα φως. Σαν σκοτεινή σπηλιά και κρυσφύγετο κολλασμένο έμοιζε το δωμάτιό σου, σε συνδυασμό με την ειδονή στο κρεβάτι. Μετά, όταν κατέβηκα στον δρόμο και περπάτησα αρκετή ώρα, το δυνατό και διάχυτο φως του Μαΐου, η πανδεσία των χρωμάτων παντού και η ζεστή ατμόσφαιρα που τόσο τέριαζε με τη διάθεσή μου. The hideout. In your bedroom, where we made love, a dark brown color prevailed from the moquette, the furniture, and the covers. It was relatively dark, for when I came in, and May afternoon, you had already shut the shutters, and the curtains in front of the windows let no light in. Your bedroom looked like a dark cave, and the hideout of the den, alone with lovemaking on the bed. Afterwards, when I came out and walked for quite some time, the strong diffuse light of May, the opulence of colors everywhere, and the warm atmosphere that so suited my mood. Vangelis Philos is a poet, a great poet of Greece, who helped me with my band, and I will read his poem, Ballad, some faster, I will read it in English, because it is some length, not too length. Ballad. There, where love reaches out to touch you, there where you disappear in your ancient silence, it needs virtue to discern through your cracked mirror. Everything you have raised, wonderful remains. You may have lifted up again there, where you boast with pride. What are you doing there, here, in the mud, with words your only weapon? The same words you were taught by loneliness. Sing out. Sponge words of seducers or emotions in exile. Where have you gone? Crafty, charming again. All cause things. You couldn't listen. Have you hidden yourself? Now that you have learned how to escape, they say that is plain streak. Since I know, I don't blame you. Everything that raised you up from the dead, it can deadly destroy you. Where have you gone, poets? Where have you gone? Translation, Cassandra Alcoskoufi. And one more from another poet, woman poet, Chloe Utsubeli. She is a great poet in Greece. She translated a short one. Χρόνος. Και η στιγμή ένα γοργοπόδαρο ελάφι που αφήνει πίσω του μια βουρκωμένη βελούδινη ματιά. Πριν βουτήξει για πάντα στο κενό. Time. The moment is a swift deer. Leave it behind. A tearful velvet glance before plunging into the void forever.
I can't believe we actually did it. Oh God, I can't believe it. Thank you. We're going to move through this. Thank you, Krista, and the other poets. I don't know if you quite got it, but she was saying that she has hosted the festival in Greece, meets with the participants, and we're really glad that they are having their voices heard. So we're going to move along. I'm seeing, what do we got for features left? Let me see, show hands, you and David, your feature, right? So, we're going to go to Massachusetts, to the great Paul Richmond, who in the Greenfield area, every third Tuesday, the time slips me, but I'm sure he'll tell you. Find him, Paul Richmond, every third Tuesday, the Greenfield Word Fest. He does other festivals, the Garlic Festival and things like that. He's a hell of a guy. He's been filming these poetry events for longer than I've been doing poetry. The man is a puppeteer and a juggler and all kinds of awesome stuff. Paul Richmond.
Thanks for staying, everybody who stayed. The word on the street is, we're fucked. The daily propaganda is nothing's gonna happen. The mantra is, it's useless to try. There's mounting evidence by the military personnel and vehicles that are surrounding us that this is not gonna be a party. It has been proven most of the news is a distraction and false. I'm afraid to break it to you that it's much worse than being reported. But now is no time for despair. Even if all the means have been deployed to destroy us, you would be amazed at our abilities to survive. I know many of you are wondering just what is the catch? How much is all this going to cost? It always comes down to that. It's obvious that it's way more than we bargained for. And there are no sales. And even with the lowest prices, the price is too high. It's been scientifically proven, depending on my hunger, I will eat anything. Which God to pray to? Don't all of them have the message of love and compassion, helping those who are down? Seems to fall on deaf ears as the killing continues. Now that we're gathered around the collection plate, many of you are asking, how much should I give? And if you're asking me, I say to you, give it all you got. Give it all you got. The Pope and the dog. The dog said to the Pope, I hump anything I can rub up against, and I can lick between my legs. And the Pope said, what's your point? And the dog said, I think we have some things in common. And the Pope said, no, you got that wrong. You are faithful and we are not. You love unconditionally and we do not. We create laws and you live on your instincts. You howl at the full moon, and when we look into the sky, we only see our insignificance and we create gods. The dog laughed and said, you know, I try to make you happy by chasing sticks. And it seems to make you really happy when I wag my tail. But between you and me, the reason I'm wagging my tail is I am really fucking glad I'm not you. I met the Dalai Lama in a big box store in aisle 5. We stood in front of the last tchotchke. It was on sale. The last one. It was just me and the Dalai Lama. It looked like I could take him down with a body truck. But he is an older guy, and you don't know about these Dalai Lamas. They may have some fancy moves. He didn't seem like he wanted to fight over it, though. We started talking. I think it had something to do with breathing, something to do about the mind. Maybe it was about the other way around. You're not supposed to be focusing on anything, and it's everything. I couldn't figure it out. Being the Dalai Lama, I assumed he must know something, so I asked him some questions. Did he have any good stock tips? He said no. Could he help me with my poker game? He said no. Did he have any good pickup lines? He said no. I assume he does a good business in incense, and all those robes everybody wears made me think about going into the robe business. But I would offer more colors. Let's change it up a little bit. We left the store together, not buying anything, actually feeling fulfilled. When we got into the parking lot, he said to me he wasn't a religion. We walked our separate ways. I sat in my cars with the windows open, listening to the chanting. And I tried to clear my mind of that last tchotchke. And I'll end with this one. You've all been at these kind of parties. Not impressed. At a party, the conversation was more about impressing each other rather than getting to know each other. People talking about their heritage. The families coming over on the Mayflower, talking about their relatives being great artists, stating their gene pool superiority. As far as I know, half the people who came over the Mayflower died the first winter. And I questioned creativity being a guaranteed gene. When it was my term, I said my family has a long history of being optimistic, since my relatives came over on the Titanic. Grandpa is credited for the family's appreciation of theater, for none of us would be here if he hadn't given such an amazing performance in the lifeboat as a woman. They weren't impressed.
So, moving right along, thank you, thank you. Okay, the gentleman that compiled the book that a lot of you have here, Beat at the Anthology for the National Beat Poetry Festival, the National Beat Poet Laureate of Long Island. I guess New York has 3. I'm trying to think of Long Island as like a separate state or something. But it's not, it's actually part of our lives. So, welcome up to the man with the books that everyone was waiting to see, the great James Paul Wagner. James Paul Wagner. Say it right. Long walk from back there. I'm only going to read 3 because I don't want to run out eventually. So, but first, I got to say, I publish books for a living, and I got to say, I don't see many that actually end up looking quite as nice as this one. And that, in part, has a lot to do with the cover. So let's give a round of applause for Debbie for designing the cover. And I get more credit than I really deserve because everybody else. I have my poems in there, but everybody else contributed all the poems. So let's give all the laureates a round of applause for, giving us good content. And let's give Colin and the National Beat Poetry Festival for getting us all here in the first place. So I know your hands are probably all tired at this point. So all right, now for a few poems that have absolutely nothing to do with anything redeemable other than working in retail. Checking the eggs. The very small woman with the very loud voice sitting in a very awkward shaped car that she drove very awkwardly through my drive-thru screamed at me in a very awkward manner. 2 dozen eggs and half a gallon of milk, and make sure you check the eggs this time. I sighed, wondering if ever such a time existed where I gave out eggs that had not been checked. Yes, ma'am, that's company policy, I say as I ready her order. Opening up the eggs to check each one thoroughly, both sides of the eggs. I do so in an overly obvious fashion so that she can see my efforts. I tell her the price, ring up her small, crumpled up dollar bills, bag her order, and walk over to hand it to her. The eggs aren't cracked, are they? She asks. I realize at this moment she must be the kind of person who sees 8 people waiting in front of a lobby elevator but still has to press the button herself. My mind runs through a list of appropriate responses including, you saw me check them all right here in front of you, and yes, they're all cracked, but I decided to give them to you anyway. And wished that such a response would not get me suspended. Instead, I sigh and calmly reply, don't worry, I checked them all. They're fine. Good, she squawks back, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten cracked eggs from here. No sooner does she say this than she grabs the items from the window, throws them over her shoulder into the non-cushioned back seat, and drives away. True story. I should mention that I wrote this little book of retail poems while I was working at a place called Dairy Barn, which we had on Long Island, which is a drive-through, basically a drive-through supermarket / convenience store. And the type of people who come to a place like that are an interesting type of people. And so it's like, I was just writing notes on the side, knowing I was going to come up with a book from it. The missing bread. Voices. Can I get a large loaf of white bread? We're out of bread right now. Out of bread? Yes, out of bread. Really? Really. How can you be out of bread? Well, people just kept asking for it, and then we kept selling it, and then we didn't get any more in. Could I get a small loaf of white bread then? No, sir. We're out of all kinds of bread, not just the large loaf. Do you have any whole wheat bread? No, sir. How about a potato bread? How about no? Any multigrain? Look, sir, we're out of bread. We have none. Are you sure? I'm sure. Maybe a raisin bread? Look, sir, you're not getting it. We have no bread at all. Not even the Jewish rye? No rye, no white, no whole wheat. We have no bread whatsoever in the store at all, of any kind at all. Would you check the back? There is no back. What you see on the shelves is what we have, and as you see, they're empty. Huh. Yeah, sorry about that. That's all right. I really came here for milk anyway. Post-traumatic stress, anyway. This one's actually a little bit outdated because when I wrote this one, they had just changed the smoking age in New York from 18 to 19, and now it's like 21, probably in the process of being like 40. I love New York, but our state motto really should be, if you have it, we'll tax it, and if it's fun, we'll regulate it till it's not fun anymore, because that's New York. But I do love New York, but they got that. So, teeny bopper twig. Her bra was way too small, but I guess that was the point. Her hips moved in a way that might have been sexy to some, but to me just looked like a waddling duck, and her lipstick by no means made her look any older. As she leaned against the door, putting her hand on her hip, pointing, she asks in as high a pitch of voice as I've ever heard, "Hi, can I get that Marlboro 2-pack thingy, huh?" This being the third underage attempt at getting cigarettes that day, and having read an article recently about a worker that got arrested for selling illegal substances to minors, I was not amused. "Yeah, gonna need to see your ID, I reply. "Oh, I don't have it on me?" Well then, like, I can't sell you cigarettes." "Oh, come on," she says. "I'm like 18. I sigh. "Well, you gotta be 19 to buy cigarettes in New York now, and either way, I can't sell it to you without an ID. Her face contorts. "You an asshole," she screams as she turns and waddles away, giving me a finger gesture that I just assumed was meant to show me her IQ. Thank you. Any other Polaroids or any other features here? Just give me a show of hands here. David left. David left!
David left.
Yeah, he was complaining of the back, so hopefully we'll get him on there. So, open mic? Yes, dear. Oh, yeah,
Open mic.
Yes, you're on the, I got the list right here. Did you sign the list?
I am second on the open mic.
I see that. So we'll get you second. I'm going to do a poem. Old poem, from memory. It's not. I am Mercury. Because when you're there, I melt at room temperature. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out, hanging out here late. Thank John Noelke, who will be reading Sunday, I understand, not today. So, just so we got everybody, all the features, that's good. I'll thank everybody after. Let's just get through this. So, local talent here on the open mic, my favorite poem. Virginia Shreve, right around the corner from us.
Hi, is that okay? This poem was inspired by a friend's photograph. We were working together on a word art project. It's also probably influenced by the sad fact that a number of people in my life are now suffering from various kinds of dementia. It's called The Tides They Go Out. I am losing my words. Sometimes they float away. Sometimes they hide just behind a door I know but cannot open. If I pretend I'm not interested, sometimes they return, like a lover afraid to commit. I guard jealously, kumquat, portmanteau, igneous, when what I should protect is what a face does when surprised by the moon. What a heart does when forgiven. I have forgotten the plot. Am I chasing or escaping? I stand in the dim room, unsure whether I am shadow or the thing that makes shadows. When the maw of forget finally swallows the thing that, when my eyes are bleached white like bone or stone or shell, looking at nothing one can find, whose face will I remember the longest, I wonder? I have already forgotten my own. Hollowed out clean, scoured smooth, my teeth unstrung like dirty pearls, tongue unfurled. The last flight of my passenger pigeon, what remains? A potato shaped like the apocalypse, a lover dead in Belgrade, a pair of horn buttons, and a book of synonyms. Or was that something I read? The words, like a slow dance, curl back upon themselves, then dip off the page, somewhere.
I will feature in someone new. I always like to hear new poetry, so welcome Joan Kunch. Joan Kunch. Welcome.
Lovely. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, John. Thank you all. What an adventure it's been tonight. Amazing. I am a classical ballet teacher, and I did not have to come very far tonight. I teach across the street at Nutmeg Ballet. I also teach in Scandinavia and in Estonia and around this country. I fell in love with the Norwegian language, and I translate poetry from Norwegian into English. So I'd like to read one translation and two of my own. If the mic doesn't fall down. The poet is Dag Sundby, who died 5 months ago in Norway. The title of the poem, believe it or not, is in Latin, Sub specie aeternitatis. It means from the viewpoint of eternity. I'm going to read it in both languages. Permanence is a relative concept from the point of view of eternity. I still remember, for example, the curve of your lips, but I've already forgotten the shape of Mount Everest, though I have flown over it many times. And the mountain is still standing, while you and your lips have long since turned to earth. In a new world, perhaps, I will meet your smile again, long after Mount Everest has become sand at the bottom of a sea. Waar ik heb daar het relative begrip, sub specie aeternitatis. Jeg husker for eksempel for Medella Stine Leppers bue, men har allerede glemt fasongen på Mount Everest, og jeg har fløyet over der mange ganger. Og fjellet står nå, mens du og dine lepper for lengst har blitt jord. Inni verden kanskje møter jeg igjen ditt smil, lenge etter Mount Everest har blitt sand på bunnen av et hav. One poem from across the street. A monarch butterfly came to the window. We have floor-to-ceiling windows in the ballet studio. Light pours through high windows. Lithe limbs soar in rehearsal studio. Points, polyrhythms, playful partners zigzag across reflective floor. Wing-like, a skirt flutters as Swanhilda and Franz coax Coppelius' antique romance to vibrant life. Outside, a monarch butterfly flings itself again and again toward the dancers, like rows of tiny kisses up and down the glass, drawn by instinct to mingle with movement so like its own. Kisses become collisions, and the insect drops to a ledge, trembling but still facing the dancers. Inside, the duet grows more animated, spontaneous, brilliant, while outside, the wings slowly fold and barely move now with the breeze. Eye to eye, inches apart, the monarch and I stare at each other. I miss the end of the dance, wanting the insect's last sight to be compassion in a fellow creature's face. Just one more. How many of you know the voice of the mockingbird? We have one in Torrington. They're the birds who imitate the call of all the other birds and some of the humans. You know about that? I made a translation from mockingbird speak into English. The poem is called Mockingbird the Rapper, and the instructions to the reader, each stanza to be read at top speed without taking a second breath. And I don't usually manage that, but I will try tonight. Mockingbird the Rapper. It's nifty, it's nifty, it's nifty, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Do sit, sit, prettily, chirper and perky, chipper and perky, chipper, 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 and perky, 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 effusive and talkative, theory, dearie, spidery pillow, spidery, spidery, zip, 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 petrified pottery. Utter veracity, felicity, tipsy and tottery, robbery, brigade, robbery, give it back. Hyper-gregarious, hyper-gregarious, punch in the bowl, punch, bring in the bunch, bring it. Choose it and chew it, pottery, chow, choose it and chew it. Berry, shoo, precious dilemma, precious dilemma, help. Mannequin there, mannequin, out of sight, fly, really remember me, really, fly, out of sight, fly, bye. Thank you. The book is called Playing with Gravity. Thank you so much. Magical company.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Nothing more magical than poets.
She likes it. And we love you. We'll get you back.
I love that.
We'll get you back. 2 poets left on the list, and we're going to wrap it up real quick here. A new Hartford haunt, someone who was always there in the art scene, and I met her when I moved down there to the Beekley, and she's a dear friend now. Welcome, Fran DeVivo. Fran, welcome, Fran.
Am I doing this right?
Yep.
Okay. These first 2 are 2 parts of a song. The 3 poems together made a song, but I'm only reading 2 tonight. From about 25 years ago. Good cop, bad cop, when's the bias gonna stop? If you want to know the backstories, you have to wait till I write my book. Okay. Selectmen come, selectmen go. We know who really runs the show. Those hired as well as those elected need be most carefully indeed inspected. They're looking at me and studying you, waiting to see just what we'll do. Let it slide and forget it if you want to stay in their town. Lapping's a felony, you better keep that frown. Unhappy population works and parties hard. Only ones making money have behinds of lard. If you dress up, it's okay to lie. Be an honest downdresser where it's a label in your eyes. The image to reality gap is quite immense. Like our too high taxes pay excessive expense. Overpaid administrators don't listen, and it shows. Better form another committee before you blow your nose. The paid paranoids come peeking in your window. The paid paranoids come listening at the door. They beat you up the head when nobody's looking. Lie about it, say you fell out the door. Where are the peace counselors, the believe the children guardians? No truth, no justice, no peace, no future. Part 3, prestige. Prestige, don't be so naive, you can't wear it on your sleeve. Dirty politicking, keep the channel clicker skipping. OD your kids, give no real love. Fry yourself up a peace dove. Talking peace dove burgers and peace dove pies. All them hippie bumper stickers, do they hurt your eyes? I stickered up my car and put mirrors around the house. They told me to get out of town, but I couldn't shut my mouth. Do you see the bud in the tree, a robin in the snow, a rainbow? Unity comes with diversity. Don't need more parking lots, plant some bushes and some trees. Money, 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 honey, say it isn't so. When you're a grandparent, you're gonna say, not my fault, I didn't know. It's too busy making money for the image show. Isolation, strangulation, crying in the night. Children fighting in school about whose God has more might. Ignorance is a cage, education is the key. Teach yourself for free, read the library, diversity. Two more short ones. Give peace a chance. May the forest be with you. One tribe, one people. Save the earth, it's your choice. My t-shirts hang on a line to dry, like prayer flags hung out to fly. Many colors, many prayers, layers of history, laundry days. 1 to wash, 3 to dry. Let me see my freak flags proudly fly. Inside my walls, inside my mind, outside my heart. And the last one. Mothers and daughters, sometimes we feel there wasn't time to close before the turning wheel. Elders and angels, lovers lost, moments I'd gladly pay a cost, or a touch to hold, our souls connecting. Then I remind my senior self, eternal is my soul and my loves, for now I walk the air. Thank you.
Well, we've had a journey around the world, and we are wrapping it up here. So, quickly, Carl or Saul? Carl.
Hello.
Yeah,
I haven't read poetry in front of people in like 2 years, so this is going to be very interesting. I picked 2 poems for you tonight. So I'm a writer, and I write. I don't have any books out, but I write. From experience and through other people and stuff like that. So here, the first one's an untitled poem, which I had written, and here we go. I wish I could heal your pain as I'm with my life, struggling, trying to stay sane. Why do good people like us live in the rain? As you live in your world and I live in mine, I wish I could be there for you more, and to be there for you as a friend and ease your mind, hoping that things will get better for you in time. Until then, I am here as a friend, trying to help you make things fine. Remember that no matter how bad you feel, I'm here for you to pick you when you're ready, to help pick you back up in your life. Friends come and they go, but I want to be there for you, that you know, for a long time, and that I really hope so.
Forever.
You matter to me a lot. I always think you're beautiful when you're not. You touched my life and changed it and brought it to the right spot. Okay, so this last one I'm going to do is called Chick at Open Mic. This is another poem by me. So I like this chick at open mic. Should I tell her? I'm not sure, but I think I might. She reads poetry that I like. I like this chick at open mic. At some point I got lost in my head, full of fear, association, drama, and dread. Little did I know I had the wrong idea and dealt with other things while trying to make a career. To the point it's almost gone now thanks to fear, and people I can't quite get rid of in here, and other things and struggles too. I got lost because I felt like I belonged in the zoo. I like this chick at open mic, but it may be too late for me to go there for me, right? So I kind of screwed up. And it doesn't help to hear people talk about things that don't fill my cup. Yeah, I like this chick at open mic and I screwed up.
Thank you all. That's awesome. We all like that chick at open